Hello friends, welcome to another Microsoft Dynamics 365 FinOps video. In this video series, we are covering inventory accounting for transactions like sales, purchase return, inventory, etc. So in today's video, we will be covering what happens when we recalculate inventory, close the inventory for valuation methods like FIFO, LIFO, LIFO date, weighted average, and average date. In today's video, we will be covering only evaluation methods like FIFO and weighted average. So, first, we will look at how weighted average works while closing the inventory in system. And for FIFO, we will only work at Excel level. Okay, so let's get started. So this video is in continuation to the last two videos. So if you remember, in last month I released two videos. One for inventory, covering inventory accounting for inventory transactions like movement journals, inventory adjustment journal, counting journals. Okay, and in second video, uh, which was for sales accounting for inventory, so where we covered what happens when we post the packing slip, what happens when we post invoice on sales order. Okay, so you will get the Excel file which I uploaded on my last video, and we will be continuing on the same set of transaction and same set of items. Okay, so in last video, which was meant for sales invoicing, we faced some issue at the time of posting the sales invoice. So we terminated our video at that point in time itself. But later on, the issue got resolved, and in system, I have posted the invoice for same transaction. Apart from that, I have done one more sales transactions. So in last video we seen this 10 quantity where we sold, and we analyzed the packing slip and packing slip and sales invoice transactions. So on top of that, I have added one more transaction for 70 quantity, and I have posted the packing slip and sales invoice also. So this scenario typically represents a trading where I'm buying the item and I'm selling the same item without making any changes. And we are not getting into the complications of manufacturing accounting right now, which will be covered in separate set of videos, where we will cover manufacturing accounting and recalculation, and how cost rolls up from the raw material packing material component level to the FG, and how it flows to the COGS. Okay, so for today's video, we'll start on the same set of transactions which we covered in my last video. So I want to show one thing here, like last time we posted the sales invoice, and I want to show you how the cost contribution and margin calculation works in Microsoft Dynamics 365 Finance and Operations. Okay, so let's go into system and see what this invoice says. This margin calculation you can analyze at the time of posting of sales invoice also by going to the total form and clicking the invoice tab. Right now I have posted both the invoices, so I will analyze the same thing from the posted invoice journal. So let's go into the system. So these are the two sales orders. First one is which we posted in my last video, and second one is which I posted later on. Okay, so in invoice, I'm going to invoice journal. I'm going to totals, click invoice. Okay, so here I have sold 10 quantity. Cost value. So my landed cost for this 10 quantity is 120.67. So if we see, this is 120.67. So my sales value, my sales price was 112.07. I'm selling 10 quantity. So my inventory or my landed cost will be 120.67. Okay, I am selling at the rate of 25 rupees per 25 per quantity. Okay, so it becomes 250. Okay, now if I calculate the margin, 250 minus 120.67, it will be my margin. Okay, now this contribution ratio is calculated like my total sales revenue minus my cost value divided by total sales revenue, and that will come up to 51.73. Okay, same way for second invoice. So here we are selling 70 quantity. My cost value is 844.71. My margin is 1255.29. So my contribution ratio comes up to 59.78. Okay, so this is what I have plotted into Excel also. So if you see here, my sales amount is 250. My landed cost is 120.67. My margin is 129.33, which is simply 250 minus 120.67, or sales amount minus cost value. And my cost contribution ratio is a ratio of sales amount minus cost value to the total sales amount. Okay. Similarly, for second sales invoice, I have plotted the same. Now, remember that this will not remain the same. Okay, because apart from standard valuation method and moving average valuation method, okay, all the landed costs are subject to change at the time of inventory recalculation or inventory closing. Okay, so currently I have not run the inventory closing. So that's why this is showing with regard to the original cost or whatever landed cost we arrived at the time of posting of invoice, which is my on hand running average cost. Okay, but after closing, after inventory closing or recalculation for this particular item, this contribution ratio, margin, everything will change. Okay, so to start with, from a very first transaction I will do is for my purchase transaction, which was for 100 quantity at the rate of 10 per piece. Okay, which was amounting to 1000, uh, 1000 uh, in total amount. Okay, so now what I am doing is for procurement of this particular inventory, say I have received the third party freight invoice later on. Okay, so I will be doing that particular transaction. So now let's get into system and post that transaction. We'll close this. I will go all purchase orders. It's taking lot of time, but this is neither edited video or, so let me start with GT. Yeah, okay. So this was my purchase order which I posted in last video. Okay, I will go to the invoice and invoice journal. Okay, so now here this is the posted invoice and I am incurring the third party freight charges. Okay, later on, which was not available at the time of invoicing of the material. Okay, so now here I will go into charges, adjustment. I'll select my charge code. So first thing is how I want to allocate my charges. So I will allocate it based on net amount. Posting date, I am keeping right now on 15th of October. Okay, I'll select the charge code. So right now I don't have any charge code here with the definition of debit inventory and credit GL. So I will create one here. So I'm saying third party freight. I want to inventorize this particular freight charges and load it on my purchase transactions or inventory transactions. Okay. At the same time, where this amount will be parked into a recovery account that I will select. So right now, I'm selecting any one GL. I'll say purchase freight. Okay, so I'm selecting any random account here right now. So this list will show only charge codes which are created with definition of debit inventory and credit ledger. Okay, I'm selecting this. I want to load 100. How you want to load PC's percentages? So I'm saying fix. Okay, and once I click OK, so once I post this, what will happen to inventory transactions? In inventory transactions, those 100 bucks will be loaded on this particular inventory transactions. And in inventory transactions, it will be shown in adjustment column. Okay, which is having its own accounting voucher, which debits inventory and credits a recovery account, which we provided in the charge code definition. And in inventory transactions, whatever shown in this adjustment field, okay, having its own breakdown, which is stored into invent settlement table, which we can say inventory settlements. Okay, so let's see what is the impact on transactions. So if I see inventory transactions for this particular purchase order, I can see that quantity is 100, my cost amount is 1100. Originally this was 1000, but since we have added 100 uh, uh, bucks of charges on this particular purchase transaction, so it has become 1100 rupees now. So let's add physical cost and financial cost amount. Physical cost amount, physical date, financial cost amount, and financial date. Adjustment also. So as I said, 100 bucks are posted into the adjustment column. And if I go into inventory and settlements, this 100 rupees are stored here. And if you see which set of GLs are posted here, okay, you can see that it is posted into my inventory account 191001. Okay, this is my inventory account, raw material inventory. So my inventory cost has increased. This profit and loss account is not recorded because it is a third party freight. Okay, so you can analyze the voucher for this also. So it is raw material debit by 100 bucks to the GL account which I selected in the credit portion of my charge code definition, which is posted with now purchase freight. Okay, so let's account this also. Now, this is as far as my inventory transaction is concerned. Okay, but my inventory ledger in my ledger for this particular item, okay, it is not recorded like this. So let's build that ledger in Excel, which will be helpful for further transactions also. So inventory ledger, or I can say in system we have one view, invent value trans view, okay, where transactions are recorded in a sequential manner. Okay, so now here it's a number, reference, quantity, amount, date, or I can say date first, quantity later on, amount, and date is already there. Okay, so now this is my number. One more column I can add for item number. The reference is this date. Right now physical and financial dates are same for everything. Okay, and the quantity is this amount. Right now this is the amount. Okay, and I can include one more column which is not maintained in uh, inventory ledger, but I'm including just for the sake of demonstration. Okay, sum of my amount. So here I don't want to include the dollar, divided by sum of my quantity. Okay, so this will give me the same cost. Okay, now uh, we posted third party charges for this particular purchase transactions. Okay, so how it is maintained in the inventory ledger? With the same reference number for same item for same purchase transactions, but which was dated like 15th 10th 15th of October, with quantity 0. Okay, 100 rupees of adjustment is posted. Okay, and if I see my running average cost after these transactions, it will be 14.92. I think this is perfect, right? Yeah. Okay, now let's recalculate the inventory. Okay, so currently for this particular item, let me take the copy of this particular. Okay, I will say this as weighted average. Okay. So when we close the inventory uh, for average valued item, okay, what will happen? System will calculate the weighted average for that particular period, and the formula will be my opening quantity, opening amount, receipt quantity, and receipt amount. So currently for this particular item, okay, I have opening stock of 0. My opening value is also 0. Okay, receipt quantity. So we'll sum up all the positive transactions into this. So sum, if I will say range, I want to sum this particular, and here I will say greater than or equal to, and my sum criteria is also this one. Okay, to include a string here. Or let's don't add into this plus, I will say okay. So this is my receipt quantity, and what is my receipt amount? So it is this plus this plus this plus this plus this 100, because this 100 is adjustment on the receipt transactions, so that's why it is also included. Okay, so here if I want to be specific, then I have to include this also. Okay, so now what is my weighted average? It is my opening amount plus receipt amount divided by opening quantity plus receipt quantity. So 12.35 is my weighted average price. Okay, so let me make sure that I have included all the receipt transactions: 100, 10, 10, 50, and the 0, 1. And while calculating the receipt amount, I will include 1000, 120, 130, 750, and 1000. Okay, now this is how weighted average happens. Now, according to this weighted average, system will adjust all the issue transactions. System will adjust all the issue transactions according to this running average cost. Okay, so if we see here, all the issue transactions means this is my issue transactions, this is also my issue transaction, these are my issue transactions. So I'm marking them as some different color. Okay, so if we see the very first transactions, it is posted with the cost of 10.18. Okay, now when we are closing or recalculating inventory for this particular item, System has calculated the weighted average cost of 12.35. So the issue cost for this particular transaction actually should be 123.50. So instead of that, real-time transaction has happened with 101.82. Okay, so the difference will be posted in event settlement table, and ultimately the summation of all the settlements again that particular transactions will be displayed in adjustment column. Okay, so here I have a transaction for this quantity into my cost should be this. Okay, so this should be the issue cost at the end of month. Okay, so that is my issue quantity into the weighted average price, which is calculated when we are recalculating or closing our inventory, minus system has already posted 101 minus 101.82 as a real time cost. Okay, so now here I'm just freezing this value. So what system will do? System will post 21.71 of adjustment on this particular inventory transactions. Okay, and the corresponding accounting voucher will also be posted in the date when we are running our recalculation or inventory closing. Okay, similarly for second transaction. Okay, now let's complete this transaction first. So for this 21.71, okay, my inventory is issued real time at the rate of 101.82 instead of 123.5. Okay, so the difference amount of minus 21.71 I have to credit from inventory and debit into my inventory profit account. So let's go to that particular inventory transactions. So this was the inventory transaction which was posted. Okay, now let me copy this here. Debit, credit. Okay, so what will happen? System will take the GL accounts which were accounted at the time of posting of that particular issue transactions. In this case, it is a movement journal where we are writing down our inventory. Okay, so it will take the same GL account and it will credit this amount here from inventory. Okay, and it will debit the account which was selected at the writing in offset account while writing down this particular inventory. Okay, so these are recalculation vouchers. Okay, generally these vouchers are not posted individually. They are accumulated for same set of GL accounts and are posted cumulatively. Okay, by accumulating for all the items which belongs to the same inventory group or item group. Okay, so this is the first accounting entry which is posted. Okay, this is receipt transaction. That's why there is no adjustment on this particular transactions. So now in ledger, how this appears. So the adjustment is posted on this particular transaction. Okay, so it takes. Now let's assume I'm closing my inventory as on 31st of October 2021. Here date is in DDMMYYYY format. Okay. So for that, with reference to that particular transaction, okay, system will post the difference of this minus already posted cost here. Okay, I'm right now not calculating this because when we recalculate the inventory, okay, all the calculation happens at the same time. So we will see at the end. Okay, so I'm freezing this here right now. I'm taking the reference of this particular value from the ledger here. Okay. Now similarly for second issue transactions, which is for 20 quantity. Okay. Which was issued at the rate of 10.44, and at the end of month we came to know that the issue should happen at the rate of 12.35. Okay, so the system should post the difference of these two as an adjustment. Okay, so now let me copy this. Yeah, this adjustment, inventory adjustment 2, date will be my closing date, quantity is 0 because no quantity adjustments are happening here. We are only working at the time of recalculation or inventory closing, only values are changed and no adjustment happens with any of the quantity. Okay, so this much quantity at this rate minus already accounted amount. Okay, so if we see, this is 247.06. So now if I multiply this by 20 quantity, then it should be 247.06. Okay. Yep. Sure. Yep. Mhm. Okay, and this is also coming up to 247.06. Okay, and this adjustment on inventory transaction is shown here. Okay, so 38.30, which was not issued at the time of real transaction, is posted now, and the accounting will be like this is inventory adjustment with the same posting type. Okay, the additional inventory will be credited. Oh, wow. Absolute value, and that amount will go into my loss, inventory loss, inventory expenditure loss. Okay, so this is how it happens. Yes. Yeah. Okay, so this is second transaction. Okay, third issue transaction is related to counting general. Okay, so that transactions will copy value, amount is not changed. the adjustment will happen of for this particular quantity at the rate of monthly weighted average cost minus already posted amount, and same adjustment will go into here. Okay, now meanwhile, let us run the closing and adjustment also, because it will take some time. Okay, so in cost management module in inventory accounting, we have a closing and adjustment. We'll go in there. We'll go to close procedure and close inventory. I want to close my inventory as on 31st of October, and my posting specification should be at item level itself. I don't want to recalculate inventory after closing, and I always recommend it, don't select this checkbox, because when you are closing your inventory as on 31st of October, okay, after closing this inventory, if you have selected this checkbox, then system will do the recalculation of inventory as on today's date also. Okay, batch processing. So I'm putting this into batch process right now. We have a few additional parameter, but it's okay. Just keep the default values. Okay, we'll get into more details of each and every parameters in a separate video. Okay, so it is submitted to the batch jobs. Okay, so once it executes, this OK checkbox will be marked with green. Let's see after some time. Okay, meanwhile, we will analyze the further accounting. Okay, now we have adjusted all our three issue transactions. One is movement journal, inventory adjustment journal, and third one was inventory counting journal. Now we are left with two sales order transactions. Okay, so so far you have seen that all the adjustment are happening in negative only, but this can be vice versa also. Okay, so in this case, while posting the real-time cost amounts for issue transactions, the running average cost is less than the monthly weighted average cost, and that's why the negative adjustments are appearing in this particular case. Okay, now let's work with sales transactions also. Okay, so let me just put some more ledger transactions here. Oh my God. Yeah. Okay. So now I have a sales transaction where my COGS is recognized with real-time running average cost, and I want to adjust it. All this will happen during the closing process itself. Okay. Now amount is zero, only value adjustments are happening here. Okay. So my first sales transaction is for 10 quantity, and this transaction should be adjusted at the rate of this weighted average cost calculated at the time of closing minus already posted cost amount. So it is 2.86. So this means when I posted my sales invoice, okay, my cost of goods sold invoice was 120.67, but when we are recalculating the inventory, it is coming to this 123.57, and hence system has posted this 2.86 of COGS into system. Okay, now let's see what happens with the inventory accounting. Okay, so this is my first invoice. So here I will take this mod, Control Z. Yeah, yeah. Okay, so this is the reversal of packing slip. Okay, and at the time of closing the inventory, okay, it will hit this 2GL, this thing, yeah, to this. Okay, and so sorry. Where is that wrap text? Yeah. Okay. So now the cost of goods sold will be debited by that much amount, and the inventory will be credited by this. Okay, and this adjustment happens with reference to the same sales inventory transactions. Okay, that's why initially at the beginning of this video I said that this cost margin calculation will change. Okay, so now this is posted. Let us see what is happening. Yeah, that's done. Okay. Yeah. Okay, now what happens with this sales margin calculation? Okay, so let me copy this because this will revise. So sales amount will remain same because this is my revenue. My cost value has changed from 120.67 to this. Okay, my margin definitely will change. Okay, and my contribution ratio, which is my sales amount minus my cost value divided by sales amount, and it is revised to 50.59. Okay, now let's see what has happened to the second transaction. So second sales transaction is for 70 quantity. Okay, so let me copy those references here. Value adjustments are happening. So this is the quantity into my weighted average cost minus already posted cost amount. This is my adjustment on this particular transactions. Okay, now what is happening here is my COGS is debited by that much more amount. Mm, and my inventory is credited by this amount. Same thing is going to happen with my margin calculation also. Okay, so this is now revised from 59.78 to 58.82. Okay, so this is how inventory closing happens. Okay, and in inventory transaction at the end of month, there are two more transactions while closing the inventory. Two more transactions appear into inventory transactions, and that is virtual transactions, which offsets itself uh, each other. Like it is with reference to this inventory adjustment. Sorry, inventory closing. Okay, so what happens? It creates one positive transaction and second negative transactions. So positive transactions transaction with this total quantity, opening quantity plus receipt quantity. Okay, and the amount is opening amount plus receipt amount. Okay, and reference will populate later. I have forgot what is the exact reference. Okay, second one is, and this happens only if there are multiple receipt transactions during the period. So say for example, if you don't have any opening quantity during the month, only single receipt transaction has happened. Okay, then in that case, this virtual transact inventory transaction will not appear in my inventory transactions. Okay, all the issue settlement will happen against that single receipt transaction itself. But say if you have opening quantity and during the month you have multiple receipt transaction, okay, in that case system creates a virtual receipt transaction which sums up opening quantity plus receipt quantity and the amount of opening quantity and receipt amount, and creates a virtual transaction and settle all the receipt transaction against this. Okay, second transaction is created. Okay, uh, with the quantity which is settled against this particular one. Okay, okay, so it creates like 170. Okay, and the amount will be, only this much, but that is minus. So at the end, if you see, my inventory cost doesn't change for that particular month. Okay, so here what has happened, I have to take this adjustment. Here what has happened, I have to take this adjustment. So if you see, when my closing is completed, my closing average price is equal to my weighted average price. Okay, so if you see, this both are matching. Okay, my closing stock is sum of all quantity, sum of all amount, and my closing stock value is also should be equal to my weighted average price, 12.35. Okay, now let's check into system what has happened. So this is the closing and adjustment which is posted right now. So let's analyze the voucher. If we see the voucher, COGS is posted by 22.86. So if we sum this two, it is 22.86. Correct? Yeah, this is something rounding. Yeah. If we see loss arising out of RM write down, okay. So RM write down has happened here, here, and here. So what is the amount? Sorry. Yeah, perfect. So loss appeared like this: movement general, one, two, this three transactions. So that is 67.15. Yeah, because this movement general has having separate account, so it is 21.71. Okay, and 45.44 is this. Okay, two transactions are for, and this is inventory issue. Okay, so for whatever adjustment are posted on adjustment happening through inventory write down write up, it is through this sum of these three transactions, 67.15. Okay, and last but not the least is my inventory issued on behalf of sales. So that is this 22.86, and the COGS is getting increased by that much amount. Okay, so this is what happened in the accounting voucher. Okay, so let's see here. So if we see, first write down is in different account. Okay, so it has issued that inventory 21.71, which forms part of this. Okay, because inventory GL is same for everything, for all the write downs. Where is first one? This I have not populated. Yeah, let us do that quickly. Okay, so inventory issues happening with this AB, oh, oh, ABS. This is, I think, my third transaction. Yep, this one. Mm. Okay, so the inventory issue is happening with this much amount, 67.15, 67.15, on account of all three inventory adjustment or inventory write downs which are happening through movement general, inventory adjustment generals, and counting general. Okay, this amount is getting splitted between two when it is getting posted to profit and loss account. So for movement general, this first transaction was for movement general where we selected some account while doing the movement general transaction. So that is posted into this movement profit and loss account, that is 21.71. Okay, and the inventory expenditure loss which was happening from inventory counting generals and inventory movement generals is 45.44, is posted into this loss arising out of RM write down, write up, write down. Okay, last one, like whatever sales has happened during that sales transaction, my inventory is issued, additionally issued by 22.85. Okay, so that is getting issued from here. Okay, and COGS is getting debited by that much amount. Okay, now this is as far as accounting voucher is concerned. Okay, So in this particular scenario, it is very simple. Okay, it's very simple to analyze this because we don't have that much of volume of transaction. Okay, but in real life, in real scenarios or live companies, this is not that simple. Okay, yeah. So that was the analysis of voucher. Now let's see what settlements are posted as part of this particular closing and adjustment. So we'll go to details and settlement. Okay, yeah. If you see, change to this weighted average date. Yeah, that is something else. Let me filter out this particular. Let me take this item only. Okay. So if you see this transaction means my movement general, which is 21.71, 21.71. Then this is my inventory adjustment, 38.30. This is my counting general, 7.14. This is my first sales transaction, 2.86, and 20 is my second sale transaction. Okay, so this is what happens when we do the closing of inventory. Okay, now let's see the inventory transaction for this particular item and see which other transactions are created there. So from here, I will go to that item. Manage inventory and transactions. Okay, so from here, or let me go to the specific transaction form and filter out the transaction for this particular item. Okay, so if you see, I have two more transactions. Just see this. Okay, so as I told you, this is created as these are virtual transaction. Okay, and let me add a few more columns or transactions into. Yeah, yeah. So it is weighted average closing. So we'll put this into my Excel file. The reference is weighted average closing. Okay, and what is the number? Number is blank. Okay, so this is the only transaction where number is blank. What is item? Item is same for which we are doing this closing. Okay, number is blank. Mm, we'll put something to this. Okay, now if you see this positive, negative quantity and amount is equal to my all the receipt transaction. That is 170. Ultimately, it becomes zero. So this will not make any difference. So if I sum this up, my closing stock will remain 35. Okay. Now, as I said, all the receipt transactions are closed. So I just want to mention one thing here is in Microsoft Dynamics 365 Finance and Operation, except standard and moving average valuation method, all other valuation methods are on settlement basis. Means all the receipt and issue transactions are settled against each other as per the inventory valuation model. Uh, just a second. Let's have a break here for 2 minutes. Okay, welcome back. Let's start again. Okay, so now in this inventory transaction, sorry, I want to add a few more columns here. Settled quantity, settled amount, give me a second. Value open, financially closed. Okay, so these are the fields which are maintained for valuation methods, all valuation methods other than standard, moving average, and standard and moving average valuation method. Okay, so in this case, both the dates are same, which are closing that. Okay, now you see this 10 quantity, this 100 quantity is settled against this issue transaction. Okay, so we are just removing the individual identity of different receipt transaction during the month. Okay, and establishing a single receipt transaction which says weighted average inventory closing. Okay, so this 100 quantity is closed. Then this 10 quantity is also closed. This 10 is also closed. This 50 quantity is closed. Okay, and this is 170. So my 170 quantity is totally closed. Okay, now there is no individual identity of this receipt transactions going forward. Okay, because all the receipt transactions are settled against this, and the receipt transactions, individual receipt transactions are no more. Okay, and all the issue settlement will happen against this particular transaction. Okay, so now in system, if we see this minus transaction, okay, let us add few more columns to demonstrate this in a proper manner. Settled quantity, amount, value, open, financially closed. Okay, so I'm adding this many things into this inventory transaction. Okay, so if you see on this issue transactions, all the 170 quantities settled. So I have made a mistake, minus 170. Okay, value open means whatever value posted at the time of closing of the inventory, whether it is settled against this or not. That is meant by this particular transaction. Okay, now uh, it is 2100, correct. Okay, okay, so now here I have 1100. So 1100, which is my amount which was posted original plus adjustment, is settled. So if you see the purchase transaction, okay, the amount is settled, okay, total quantity is settled. So identity of this transaction is closed, which is financially closed. So financially closed is 31st of 10, 2021, and my value open is no, because there is no more value open against this particular receipt transaction. Okay, similarly for this, no, financially closed. Let us see in the same manner. You see, okay. Now, same thing has happened with another receipt transaction, and the closing date is same. Okay. Now, if you sum up the settled amount, it is 2100. Same thing will happen here. It is also 2100. Okay, and here also value open is no, and my financial closure date is 31st of October. Okay, if you see, this is how it appears. Okay, now, so this all transactions are now settled. Okay, so I'm just marking them with different color. Uh, I'm saying this is blue. Okay, now all the adjustment which are posted, okay, that settlement will happen. So out of this 2100 quantity, sorry, 170 quantity, okay, how much quantity is settled? So it is 10 plus 20 plus 25 plus 10 plus 70. It is 135, right? So from this 135 quantity is settled. This is also settled. minus 10 quantities settled, minus 20 quantities settled, minus 25, minus 10, minus 70. So, yep, sorry, 135 settled. Okay. Now here, how much value or amount is settled here? Okay. So that formula will remain same. So whatever financial cost is posted plus whatever adjustment posted up to the closing date is settled here, right? This is settled. Okay. Now in last transaction, whatever issue is adjusted against this receipt is settled. 1667.65. So if you see here 1667.65 is settled. Only the symbol is incorrect. Okay. Since this issue transactions are completely settled in terms of value and quantity. Okay. So value open is no here. Okay. But this receipt transaction is not fully settled. So out of 170 quantity, only 135 quantity is settled. Okay, so remaining 35 is my opening balance, opening quantity for the next period. Okay, uh, hence this value open is yes. And again, this is not financially closed because entire value is not settled right now. If you see, there is no date for financially closed. 1667.65 settled, 130.5 quantities settled. Okay. Now, if you want to see what is settled against this particular transaction, then from this inventory transactions, you can go to inventory and then see the settlement. Just a second. It has happened. Yeah. So, click to somewhere else. Okay. So this 135 quantity is settled and this much is settled. Now let me see something. Mm-hmm. Lot ID. Okay. So now out of this 2100, this 10 quantity is also settled. Okay. So system maintains the reference on this particular issue transaction and marks with this transaction. So if I go to inventory and settlements, if you see, this is settled against that particular transaction. It is somewhere. Let me see. It is adjustment amount, settle balance sheet, cancel, item group, item number, and settle profit loss, first and settle, settlement, transaction, me see. This is the same one. Yeah, but it maintains this reference in the backend. Okay, so on all the issue transaction, those are settled against this particular virtual receipt transaction. Okay, we can find this settlements 38.30. Okay, now let me mark these transactions with separate color. I can say these are all green. Okay, so now let us see what I'm talking about this ledger. Let us see this in terms of reporting also. Okay, so say for example, if I am generating inventory aging report, yeah, this is saying there is a new feature inventory aging report storage. On this feature, we have a separate video also. This feature is enabled and hence it is saying that we cannot run the old report. Okay, so now I'm running inventory aging storage, sorry, inventory aging report storage. Let me run the new report. Underscore rm dash 03. I want to generate the aging as zone 31st of October. I want to see item group, item number, product dimension I'm not using right now. I want to see site in my report. Mm, I'm not, I don't want to see other things. These are my aging buckets, 90, 180. I will run this report for only one item. Of this item. Let's run this. What should it show? It should show me 35 as closing balance, for 32 as my inventory value, and 12.20 35 as my average cost. Okay, so this aging report is ready. I can see this. Okay, I have a on hand quantity of 35, or 32.35 is my closing value. Okay, and what is my unit cost? It is 12.35. Okay, now there is one more report that is called inventory value report storage. This is a very important report. Okay, I'm not going into much depth here because this can have its own video on the single report. I'm clicking new GT CO3. Here I have to create a report ID. I will say transactional because I want to see the ledger. Save this definition. In columns, I will say, because using the same report, I can generate my inventory transactions and opening, closing, and transactional data. WIP also I can see using this report. I can generate the report for deferred costs, COGS. Okay, so right now I am doing this only for inventory. I want to see site in my report. Where is the site? Okay, I want to see item, item group. I don't want to summarize. I want to see physical and financial in separate column. Average unit cost, total quantity and value column. In rows, I will say I want to see transaction with opening. Okay. So this is my definition for looking at opening transactional data and closing. Select this. I'm generating this statement for the month of September. October. I'm generating this report for only one item. GT underscore RM dash 03, I guess. Let me copy this from Excel. Yeah, that's correct. This will always run in backend. The report is ready. If you see for this particular item, I have a beginning balance of 0. Then I made a purchase of 100 quantity. 1000 was the amount. So now just compare with this ledger. Why I prepared. Okay. To correlate with this. Then we did movement of 10 quantity, 120 amount. Okay. Then we did write down using movement 101.82. 10 quantity we did inventory adjustment up with 130 of cost. Then inventory adjustment down of 20 quantity. Then we did counting up of 50 quantity at 750 of cost, counting down 25301.68. Okay, then we made two sell order transactions. So first one is my packing slip transaction. So when I posted my packing slip transaction, system has issued 10 quantity at the rate of 120.67, 120.67. Okay, and when I invoiced it, system has reversed the physical posted amount and it is posted at financial. So this is here. Similarly, what has happened for 70 quantity, which corresponds to this. Okay, then we made $100 of adjustment on our purchase transaction. Okay, so that is appearing here with reference to the original purchase order. 100 is posted here and quantity is 0. Okay, on sale order transaction we have two adjustment 2.86 and 20. 2.86 and 20. So why this is appearing first? Okay, so system has sorted it. Transaction, this is movement general down. Okay, 21.71. Okay, then 38.30, 7.1. Okay, so this is exactly what how weighted average works in system. Okay, so I think we have already surpassed an hour. It's about to 1.5 hours. So let's conclude this video here. I know uh, we are yet to cover the FIFO valuation method here. Okay, but for FIFO, we'll have a separate video for that. And I will not demonstrate that those transactions in system, okay, will only work at Excel level. Okay, yeah, okay. So thank you for watching this video. If you have not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe it because we are exploring the core financial functionalities of Microsoft Dynamics 365 finance and operations, and to this detail and to this extent you will not find anywhere, okay, even on Microsoft sites. So just subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to hit the bell notification icon, and like this video if you enjoyed and you find this helpful to you. Thank you. Bye bye.